Hey y'all, today we'll be making this chunky Mickey Mouse mini album. I've had a few requests to make a tutorial, or asked do I have a tutorial for this album. So I decided to give it a go. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it helps. And if there's anything I miss, I'm sorry. I do apologize. I'm new at this tutorial stuff, so just bear with me. So let's get started. Okay, first I'd like to do my pages. So first you're going to take an 8.5 by 11 page, and you'll cut it to be 6 3/4 by 6.5. Okay, and don't throw this away. Don't throw this bottom piece right here away. Okay, so we'll take this one, set it to the side, and then you're going to get another 8.5 by 11. You're going to cut it to be 7 3/4 by 6.5. And then what you're going to do is you're going to score it 1/2 inch here, flip it over in your scoreboard, do a 1/2 inch here. So this will give you 7 3/4 by 6.5, 6 3/4 by 6.5. And you'll take your tape, put score tape here. I'm just going to use my ATG gun for both sides. Okay, you'll flip these in. You'll flip this one in. Take the first piece here you cut, lay it on top. Try to get it on there as best as possible. Okay, so then you have your page. That's all there is to it. And I've got my tape. There we go. So I have a little tube here. Okay, so then what you want to do is take your art glitter glue, and you're going to add some glue here at the bottom. Let me get my glue real quick. Okay, so you just take just a small amount of glue here to the bottom, just glue that together. Press it down, and now you have a pocket. Whoop. You may want to wait till it dries before you open it up. Okay, so then what you're going to do, set your glue to the side, set your pocket. Alright, you can do either side. You're going to take your designer paper, you're going to cut it at 6.5 by 6 1/4, and it'll fit just like that. So then you'll take your glue or your tape, whatever you want to do. We'll just do glue. You'll run your glue, and of course you want to glue this better than what I'm gluing. This is just for the tutorial here. You'll take your time and make sure everything is spaced out even. Flip it over. You have another piece that is 6.5 by 6 1/4. This will be your design paper. We're going to glue it down. Okay. Now you have your little pocket here. Both have the designer paper. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in the album. This is what you have. This is this piece. You have this. And the back piece. Alright, now we're going to make the flaps. We're going to make this and this. And I've already taken one out of the album, so I can kind of give you a closer look here. Alright, this is what it'll look like. It'll open up here. You'll have a tag. You'll have a tag here and a tag here. And the neat thing that I liked about this was this flap here comes out. So it actually gives you more space for photos. Okay, and for that, what you're going to do stick your pocket to the side there. You're going to take a 12 by 12. You're going to score it in the middle at 6. And you'll flip it over, score it again at 6. Okay, so that's what you'll do. You'll score here at 6, flip it over, and score here at 6. Then you're going to cut this piece off. Then you'll have a 6 by 6, 6 by 6, 6 by 6, and another 6 by 6. Do not throw this away. We're going to use it. So you'll take where you scored it, and take this off. Okay, where you scored it, it'll flap over here and flap down here. And then what you want to do is flip it over. When you flip it over, you're going to take this 6 by 6 piece here that we cut off. You're going to add glue just to 3 edges. So you take just a small amount of glue just to your edges. Okay. And you're going to line it up, glue it on back here. What this is going to do, this is going to give you the pocket. So now, this is what you have. A flap here, here, flip it over, and now you have a pocket. Okay, so we'll take the front part here, and let's add our mats. So here, you have 3 sections. Okay, this white part, today for the tutorial, I'm using yellow. So what you'll do is you'll take 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, 6 of these. Nope, 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You need 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm going to take and glue these on. My glue is stopped up. Okay. We're just going to add these on here. You'll do this to all of the inside and the front flap, not the back. The little pocket that we made, don't add a mat to that pocket. Of course, you'll do this better. Make sure you add your glue better than when I'm adding mine. Or score tape or whatever kind of adhesive you want to use. Okay, so now this is what we have. And then I have another mat on top of this. So we're going to make 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Not sure if you can see that good or not. But 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And you can round your corners. You can use a decorative punch. Whatever you want to use. I did on my album, but just for the tutorial, I left everything square. Okay, we're just going to add these. And there you go. So this is the inside. This is the inside of mine. See, I used the decorative punch and I done the rounded corners. You can do whatever you want to. Alright, so now we're going to flip this over. This is what we have. This is what we have. See right here, this is our little pocket. I didn't add a decorative paper there. You can if you want to. That's up to you. Alright, so now what we're going to do, you take this, flip this one in. We've got a decorative paper here, which is 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, and you're going to flip this down. Now we need to make this pocket. So the piece that I told you earlier not to throw away, you're going to cut out a 2.5 by 7 piece off of that piece I told you not to throw away. So you got a 2.5 by 7. We're going to make that the pocket. What you do is you need to score a half on 3 sides. Score here at the bottom, flip it over in your scoreboard, and score half here. Alright, then what we're going to do, cut these little corners off. And you're going to add your tape, or you can use wet glue, whatever you want to use here. Okay. Fold your 2 sides in first. Fold your bottom flap on top. Just line it up. Okay, there you have your pocket. And the mat for that will be 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. And you're just going to take that, glue it down. So now we have a pocket. And we're going to flip it over. Flip this one over. This is the side that has the pocket at the top. We're going to make a pocket for here. So what I done here is you have a 2 by 6. I didn't make the little side pieces here that you'll fold in. It's just a little small tight pocket. Flip it over, add glue on 3 sides. We'll line it up. Add your glue here to the bottom. You can press it down. Okay, so now we need the mat. We need a 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. And again, you can use your corner punches to make these little decorative corners, or you can leave it square. And then we need a 1.5 by 5.5. Okay, just glue that down. Alright, so now we have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here. Flip up, flip out. So you have plenty of spaces just by these flaps for pictures. Okay, now we're going to make this piece, this flap, little booklet, whatever you want to call it, that goes inside of the top flap. Just like this. And you can flip it either way, whatever way you want to flip it. Okay, so to do that, what you're going to need is a 5 1/8 by 11. Okay, 5 1/8 by 11. You're going to score at 5 1/2. That's going to make your little flap. And then you're going to mat it. And for the mats, you're going to need 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. 4 3/4, 5 1/4. This is, I just wrote inside mat. Okay, so you'll take it, stick it in here. You'll need another one, 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. So that's the inside. Okay, on mine, I took little Mickey Mouse punches. I have a little punch, the little Disney punch. And then I just punched out some little Mickey Mouse. And then I have a little bow. I have a little bow punch. I don't know where it is right now. And then you'll just take your little mouse, stick him here. And this one you can stick it this way or this way, however you want to do it. I just stuck mine this way. Okay, so that's the inside. Alright, now for the outside, let's flip this down. You'll need to burnish it down pretty good whenever you get done. Okay, you're going to need a 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. This is for the outside. Over your little flap. Okay, and then on this one, you'll have another mat, which is 4 1/2 by 5. Okay, flip it over. You'll do the same thing. You'll take your 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. Then you're going to take your 4 1/2 by 5. And there you go. And then on mine here, I just put just a little bling piece. You can put that, or you can put whatever you want. You can decorate it however. Okay, so that's the mat that goes on the inside of this little pocket back here. Like I said, you can flip it this way or this way, whatever way you want to make it. But this whole section fits. You'll flip both of these up. That way you have your smaller flap and then your larger flap. And you take your page that we made first, and this goes down in there. So you actually have lots and lots and lots of room for photos. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make all these little tags that go in here. Okay. So this tag here, you're going to take 5 1/2 by 4 3/4. 5 1/2, 4 3/4. Then you're going to take your top mat, well, sorry, your bottom mat, 5 1/4 by 4 1/2. 5 1/4, 4 1/2. I hope that shows up on camera. About let my glue dry up again. Alrighty. You just take this, mat it, and then you're going to take a 5 by 4 1/4, and this will go on top of there. So now you have the double mat, okay? And then I have my Mickey Mouse. Just punched out a few. You can take and put them there. Put one up here for the top for the little pull out tab. However you want to do it. You don't have to put Mickey Mouse. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. And then on the back, I just left it blank. Okay, so the next tag you'll make is this one. And this one will be, I made it yellow also for the back. This will be 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then you're going to take this part, which will be 4 1/2 by 5. You'll glue it down. And you can take a little Mickey Mouse and put up here, or you don't have to put anything at all. And on the back, I just stamped. I have Mickey Mouse stamps, and I just stamped a few little images. Okay, and then for the next tag, we're gonna take this one. And these are little Mickey Mouse bows. I got these at Walmart. You could probably get them at Hobby Lobby or wherever. But they had Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse in them. I think they were about $3. Okay, but what you'll do for this one is you will take 5.5 by 5.5, and then you'll take a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, okay, you'll lay it just like that. And then I have a crocodile, what I use, and you can use the little hole or the big one, but I think with these buttons you use the big hole. So you just eyeball it and center it wherever you want it, and then you'll take your, I use red tulle, but you can use ribbon. Let's see what my ribbon is. Okay, well I can't find my ribbon right now. Let me just cut a piece of this tulle real quick. And what you do here is you put your button in. You flip this over. You stick your button the front, have it pop out the back. Just simple. It just pops right out the back. Okay, and then you'll take your tool, you'll bunch it up. And the easiest way I found is you take this little, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, it's a little floss pick that you get where the toothpaste is, and people with braces, this is how they floss their teeth. This is the easiest way. Just take your ribbon or tool, whatever you have, and just thread it right through. That simple. And then you can tie it in a bow, a knot, whatever you want to do. And that's that. Okay. So for the next piece, what we're going to make, alright, that's your pages. That's all your flaps and your tags. So now what we're going to make this front part here. This flap to the right, to the left, waterfall, and then just a little mat area. Okay. So for that, what you're going to do, and on mine, I have this little red piece here. This is just a little base piece that I worked off of. Instead of doing it in the album, I just done it on my little base piece here. So for this, you're going to have 6 1/4 by 6 1/2. Okay. Then you're going to take 7 by 12. 7 by 12. Okay, you put it in your scoreboard. Scored at 6. Put it in your scoreboard. Score at 6. Alright, and then you're going to score it a half here. Turn it over. Score it a half here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut these two side pieces here at the top off. You just kind of angle here. Angle it here, and I use my paper trimmer, but for video purposes we're just going to cut it, and it's not going to be straight. I can tell you that now because I'm shaking. You just cut these two little top side pieces off, just the top. So this is what you'll have. You cut these two pieces here off. Okay, you throw those little pieces away. Alright, and these pieces, what you're going to do, you're going to put score tape here, because we're going to make a pocket. Okay, let's fold these in. So you fold that in to make a pocket. We're going to add a little glue to the bottom. So we're going to close that pocket up. Alright, so fold this piece down. Take your side pieces, line them up as best as... Wait a minute. Don't line it up. Leave a little edge around it, because you want a border. Okay, so now you'll have a flap. This is your top flap here. Okay, so back here you're going to have a pocket. So to mat this, you're going to need a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Alright, then you're going to take another mat, be 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, so that will be your top flap right here. So this is what we just done. Alright, so we'll flip that up. And then you have an inside mat for the top here, which will be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, now we need to make the flaps. So we're going to take this piece here, 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to glue it down. Okay, you're going to need an atom magnet here in just a few minutes. Then you have two side pieces. You're going to need 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And you're going to score a 1/2 inch on this side. So 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored a 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to add tape to this side here. What you're going to do is flip it in, just like this, because you have your tape on that side, or you could put the tape on the other side, and however. Then you're going to take this piece, line it up. Okay. Going to make your flap. Alright, then you have another one that is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Score 1/2 inch on this side. Add your tape. Flip it over. Alright, now you're going to open this mat up, this flap up. Take this one, line it up. Okay, so now you have two flaps. Okay, don't forget to add your magnet to help it close down here. So now what you're going to do is we're going to make the waterfall for the bottom part. Oh wait, first we need to mat these. Okay, so for the center, this mat, you're going to need a 5 by 5 1/4. You can put your flaps on the other side instead of the top. You can put them on the bottom, however. But you have your paper here that's going to cover it. Okay, then for this side, we're going to take a 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Alright, for the other side here, we're going to take a 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, flip one side in. We're going to need a 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. this side. I'm going to need 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so now you have your flap all matted. And it'll flap down. That's matted, and you have your pocket. So now for the waterfall, you're going to need 4 of these. They're going to be 5 1/2 by 4 3/4. Take them and lay them in your scoreboard with your 4 3/4 side at the top. Score at 1/2. Okay, you'll do that all 4. Score them at 1/2. Then you're going to add your tape. And what I did is I went kind of to the top here, kind of centered up. Don't go all the way to your score line. Leave just a little room here. I got just a small amount of room here. Okay, that's your first waterfall. You take your next piece, add your tape, flip that one up, fold this piece down. Okay, butt it up right to the bottom. Before you press all the way down, close it up, make sure they match. Make sure they're the same here. Okay, and you can just press it down. Take your next one, add your tape, same thing. Fold it down, line it up. Close it, make sure it matches. If it doesn't, you have, and if you use wet glue, you can adjust. Use score tape, just don't push it down all the way until you know it's perfectly straight. And then you'll take your last one, add your tape, fold it down, line it up right to the bottom. Close it to check it. Everything looks good. Press it down. So now you have your waterfall. Okay, so now we need to mat these. Okay, so you're going to need 8 that are going to measure 5 1/2 by 4. And you just line this up. Well, maybe I cut it wrong. Alright, so that needs to be 3 3/4, not 4. 3 3/4. Alright, so you're going to need 8 of them that are 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. So what I'll do is just cut a little off of here. Looks about like a 1/2 inch I cut off. And you glue it down. And you're going to have 8 of these. And then you just mat them right here. Mat the front, the back. And for the little pieces here, you can take some scrap pieces and just lay a piece on there. Or if you have washi tape works perfect. It's like the right size that'll go right in there. Okay, moving on. So for this part, you want 5 1/2 by 4. It's going to be your mat for the back here. Okay, and you just take and line this up. And then you're going to need a 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And the magnet that you added earlier to the top up here, you're going to close it and add a magnet here. So you'll have a magnet here. You'll close all this. You can put your magnet here on the top if you want, underneath this mat. Or the magnet that I used, it was strong enough it would hold from inside of here underneath this mat. You added this magnet earlier underneath this mat. So you close it up and it'll match the bottom. Then you'll have a magnet. Okay? Or you don't have to have a magnet. You can add a ribbon closure. You can add whatever closure you want. Okay, but after you add, if you add the magnet, after you add it here, you're going to take 5 by 3.5, lay it over top so you don't see the magnet or the closure, whatever you did. So now, this is what you have. So here you're going to have the waterfall. You have your little flap here. You have your waterfall. And you have your flaps. Oh gosh, sorry. And then it'll close up. So this is your first part here, which is what this is. And then you'll take this, you'll just glue this whole piece down. Just glue all the way around, stick it in your album. And then you're going to have this little tag here that goes in your little pocket. And it is going to measure 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. And it just sticks right down in here. Okay? So now what we're going to make, we have, so this time what we're going to make is this inside part here. This flap, this little flap, pocket, pocket, tag, tag. That's what we're going to make now. Alright, so what you'll do is you're going to take 5 3/4 by 12. You're going to score it at 6 1/2, and then you're going to take 5 3/4 by 6. You're going to score it a half. Okay, you're going to add tape to the inside of this, or glue, whatever you want to use. Alright, and then you're just going to take it, because this is going to flap under, line it up, and now you have flaps. Okay, so for the inside here, we have a pocket that goes here, which is going to measure 6 7/16 by 4. And this does not have the little flaps. It's just going to be a little tight pocket. Add some glue here, only on 3 sides. You take it, line it up. Make sure that you're not touching your score lines on either side, that way it'll close up easily. Okay, then you're going to take 6 1/4 by 3 3/4 to mat this pocket. Alright, now you're going to need 2 pieces that are 2 inch by 6 1/4. And this will go on the inside here. And once you have this part in your album, once this whole piece is in your album, you're only going to glue here, here, and here. I didn't make a base page for that, because you're going to glue it in your album before you do all this. But this 2 inch by 6 1/4 will go underneath here. Just like here, this piece here. Okay, now onto the flaps, the tags, and then this little booklet here, we're going to make that next, and all of these tags. So this is already glued into your album. Alright, now let's make the little booklet. Alright, you're going to take a 12 by 12. You're going to score the 4, score the 8, flip it over, score the 4, score the 8. Okay, then you're going to cut here, 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 and here. When you cut them, kind of cut them a little bit at an angle. That way they'll fold together. Well, whatever. So you're just going to cut these. Like I said, you'll cut them at an angle. You'll cut a little bit off of this side, a little bit off of this side. That's going to give you 9 4x4 squares on each side. So what you're going to need, you're going to need 18 mats that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, you're going to mat each side. And then once you get them all matted, close them up, flip this up, and you'll stick this part in your pocket. That way you'll have the flap that's coming out of the pocket. Alright, so next you're going to need to make the photo mats. For the photo mats, you're going to need 2 that are going to be the same size. They're going to be 5.5 by 5.5. You need 2 of those, which means you're going to need 4 mats that are going to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so you'll need 4 of those. 2 for this one, 2 for this one. Okay. Then you're going to have a tag that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then the mat for that is going to be 5 by 5. Okay, you'll need 2 of those so you mat both sides. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to make the two little pockets and 2 little tags. So for this pocket here, you're going to need a 3 by 3 1/4. I didn't mat it because I added little buttons to mine and a little stamp. So what you do is you just add glue on 3 sides, your 2 sides and your bottom. Glue it down. It'll look just like this. Okay. For the tag, you're going to need 2.5 by 5 1/4. The mat will be 2 1/4 by 5. Punch a hole in the top, tie your little ribbon, whatever you want to do there. Alright, and then for this little pocket, it's going to be a 2 by 4. You're going to score to half here, score to half here, add tape to both sides here. You're going to add a little bit of glue because I didn't make the bottom flap there. Stick it in just like that. And then the mat for that is going to be 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, stick it on just like that. Stick it in your album. And then the tag for that is going to be 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. Alright, then you're going to need 2.5 by 5 1/4. And you're going to need 2 of this size. 1 for the front, 1 for the back. And then here, I double matted it, so you're going to need 2 1/4 by 5. And that's your tags. And if there's anything in this album that I missed, anything that doesn't make sense or whatever, just please let me know. Give me a comment. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I did not cut more chipboard, but I will give you the measurements. The front part, this part here, is going to be 7 1/4 by 7 1/2. This flap here is going to be 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. Your 2 sides are going to be 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. Your back piece is going to be 7 1/4 by 7 1/2. So that means you're going to need 2 that are 7 1/4 by 7 1/2 and 3 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 7 1/2.